You know what? This is going to be an interesting one, ladies and gentlemen. We have an opinion video. It's been a while since we've done one of those. Oh, wait. Probably not that much. Anyways, I think today, for the opinion video, I want to talk about a franchise. Not just a franchise, but very specific games within a franchise. Brilliant! Oh, wait. It's probably been done before, but oh well. So when it comes down to it, the game I want to talk about is Dragon Quest IX and Dragon Quest XI specifically. Now, let me be completely clear, cut, dry, and honest with you. I like both games. I said it. I meant it too. I like both of those two games, and I like them pretty equally. In fact, gun to my head, if I had to review either of those games, the review scores would be literally one for one the exact same. There'd be no difference in the score. The only thing that would change really is what parts really stuck out to me. That's all that would really change. It would basically be two reviews of the exact same thing if I did. Alright? Now, here's the thing. I love Dragon Quest IX because it's gameplay, really. Sure, its MC isn't all that interesting, really. But at the same time, I consider that probably my favorite thing about the game was its gameplay. Now, do I think it's the strongest gameplay they could have ever shot for, ever? No. No, I don't. In fact, actually, I think the gameplay could even become stronger still by fleshing it out a bit more. And the funny thing is that's kind of the same opinion I have of Dragon Quest XI. I like the gameplay, but I think it's still got room to grow if we flesh it out some more. Now, when I say flesh it out more, do you think I mean just pile on, say, more weapon types? No. What I more mean is adding in a couple more moves, because it feels like there's really nothing new at all here, other than the feel of it. And there's also now more restriction on what can or can't be gotten through. Like, for example, in Dragon Quest IX, you can give every character you have on your lineup charm if you want. You can. It takes no effort, really, to do so. You don't have to meet some criteria. None of that. You can just do it. Just do it. While in Dragon Quest XI, there are some restrictions here and there. Not everyone can gain enhancements to charm. Not everyone can gain this. Not everyone can gain that. You're only really going to be gaining charm through your outfit, through your gear. That'll give you extra charm if you want to go that route. But there's not really a way to increase charm on a level up basis at all. No. There are for some characters, like for example Sylvando, he can gain charm whenever the hell he wants. Same thing with Jade. She can also gain high amounts of charm whenever she wants. Everyone else, though, has more limitations put onto them. Not being able to gain charm or not being able to gain a specific thing through leveling up. Now, I don't know how I feel about that. That big difference between 9 and 11. On the one hand, it was kind of fun for breaking the game purposes. Having all my characters capable of stunning characters just because they're on the battlefield was great comedy. But at the same time, am I really missing that option? No, not really, not at all. And in fact, the fact that it's missing is actually completely empty, meaningless to me, really. It doesn't change my tactics, it doesn't change the way I play the game, it doesn't change who my front or back lineup is. No. My front lineup is still the MC, the Eric, and I can't remember the character's name now. That's convenient. now I'm forgetting characters' names. Now I'm forgetting them. But anyways, it's pretty much the same team setup. It's more or less the same setup I was using back during Dragon Quest Nine. It really didn't change much. The only real change was the names, and that's about it. Nothing really altered at all. Um, as I play the game, and maybe I'm in the minority here, but anyone else kind of dig, the enemy for Dragon Quest Nine just a tad bit more? Anybody? Yeah, I could be alone in this one, but to me, I always liked, that dude a little bit more. Not because he was necessarily the most memorable in look, but because he was the most annoying. I don't know about you, but a good villain is the kind of villain where you want to punch him. When you want to hunt down the villain because they've annoyed you to death. That's a good villain in my eyes. Where you want to go after them and beat them till they're black and blue. I don't really feel that way with this dark... I know his name, but I also don't want to do no spoilers and none of that stuff, alright? When it comes to Dragon Quest 11, you have your darkness dude, your evil dude, and it's just like, you barely see him, you barely talk to him. Most of the stuff that he does that makes you want to fight him isn't actually done directly through him. It's all done through background, freaking shadow group crap, it's nothing direct. The other dude, all his crap, all his evil doings were direct. He did them himself. And didn't give a crap about other people being involved or not. He did all his damage himself. Which is kind of nice for a villain. It makes you hate the villain more. It makes you want to hunt down the villain more when all this stuff is being done directly to you instead of inadvertently. Call me crazy. I'd rather he's doing this stuff to me other than he's doing this stuff in the background which caused a chain of events, which caused another chain of events, which caused another chain of events that finally led to me being impacted in some way. Call me crazy. The second one with all this chain of effect crap, alright, that's not very interesting. That doesn't make me want to go after the villain. That kind of just makes me wonder, okay, why should I care? Well, the first one is an actual, I care because you directly ended tons of people's lives and tried to end my life at the same time. You directly caused all the suffering with your own hands. That's far more impactful. You're the one who's directly trying to end the world instead of trying to cause the end of the world by causing a snowball effect to a snowball effect to a snowball effect. Call me crazy. I don't find mass number of snowball effects to be very, good enough of a reason I want to hunt you down. It works well enough for, the heroes, but for the player, myself, it's not that motivating. Him actually doing this kind of crap directly to the character, that actually helps motivate me to want to hunt down the villain, to want to put a stop to them. Now, like I said, you could argue that, but King, he wants to end the world, so it should be fine. And you're right. For the hero of the story, that's enough. However, for the player, though, who's not the hero of the story, for the player themselves, especially on my end, alright, it's not quite enough. That's not going to get the job done. Just, he's the bad guy, you're the villain. Okay? What's to stop me from wanting to, I don't know, do the opposite, where I help the villain? Call me crazy, but if it's me personally, you're going to have to throw me a bit more than just a he's the bad guy line. You're going to have to put a little bit more oomph into it. And that's the thing with Dragon Quest XI, though. It doesn't, aside from one single moment, and I do mean one moment, I do feel like I have this weird mixed feeling when it comes down to the supporting cast for both Dragon Quest 9 and 11. I'd like a decent number of both. There's always that one character, though, you're just like, eh, they're fine. Not necessarily going to be a team ever, but they're not bad, per se. For example, in Dragon Quest 9, the one character who was always shoved into the background was Angelo. Not that he's a bad character or has no personality or badly voiced acted. No. No, 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 no. It's just, when it comes down to it, his playstyle is a bit too similar to the MC's. It's just a bit... In order to actually try and force him to be able to be something of his own, I have to have my character switch from the sword to the spear in order to do that. In order to make that method, to make that character seem really worthwhile. Just to make it seem like he's worthwhile putting the time and effort into. When it comes down to Dragon Quest XI, it was... I think it was Veronica I just didn't mess with because, one, when I compared the usefulness of Veronica to the usefulness of her twin sister, I felt like Serena was far more useful, far more adaptable to situations, and capable of holding her own a hell of a lot better, and if not capable of doing far more damage. Almost constantly. To a point of being almost comedy. The only time I felt like Veronica was really pulling her own was when opponents had an elemental weakness that I knew of. I had to already know the elemental weakness for Veronica to actually start showing what she's really capable of. And even then, compared to Rab, Rab was constantly useful in Magic no matter what, when, or where. To be honest, I played Dragon Quest Heroes, I think was the title. To be honest, I'm not sure I really care if I mess up the names because they weren't that great. They weren't terrible, but they definitely weren't that great. To be honest with you, I do hope that they make something similar ideas as to Dragon Quest 9, 11. But I do hope they kind of tone it down with the silent pro tag stuff. The facts are, is I kind of would like them to quit doing that. To be honest, I do think they need to stop going with the silent protagonist route. Or if they are going to keep going with the silent pro tag route, they need to add in dialogue options, good ones. They need to find a way to enhance or improve the immersion into it. Whether that means a character creator, dialogue options, or just finally nipping it in the bud and say going with actually voiced MCs. I personally, if it's just me, I want to try to find a middle ground between what they are already doing with what a player like myself would prefer. Personally, I would heavily recommend going with the character creator route, because if players get to create their own characters to, for example, at the bare minimum of like Code Vein levels where you could decide hair, face, yada yada yada, clothing even, I do recommend they go this route. I do recommend they consider this route, especially for a very specific reason. For players like myself who love creating their characters, having that ability is already a point. That's an instant point right there for some people, right? Being able to create your own character. So even if they are silent, it wouldn't be as much of an issue. It would kind of help to mitigate that problem. It would help to immerse them in this character as their character. Now, I do kind of wish, like I said, they would go with the whole vibe of dialogue options on top of that, just to kind of show, like, okay, yeah, we could have just done one, But instead of being lazy, we went above and beyond. I'd like it if they do that. It depressingly probably won't happen. It's not going to happen. But I still think that going with this character creator route for the next Dragon Quest game would be a good idea. I do think they should consider it, even if they don't fully commit to it. I do think they should consider it because it's something that I feel like would help with immersing them into the MC in a way that hasn't really been able to be done. Uh, that's kind of where I stand right now. Uh, I still like Dragon Quest 9 and 11, even with the fact that they're a silent character. But I do kind of want them to try and think of, okay, how can we enhance immersion into this MC character? How do we take what we've done here and kick it up a notch? That's kind of what I'm hoping, what I'm wanting. Whether or not it'll ever happen, I have no clue. And I have no intent to pretend to know how it'll go. Only time and future will tell. I hope you all laughed at me, smirked, maybe use this video as some background noise while you're doing whatever you gotta do. I hope y'all are either doing good now or are gonna be doing good later. I am gonna go. See ya.